Well, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, can you? Are we live?
I think
So
so. Let me just double check.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's brilliant. Okay, so good morning, everybody. And we decided that for our second series of Art Alchemy, we would take it live, which is a little bit scary. Little bit.
Yeah, it is, but hopefully we were thinking it'll be more, I suppose, spontaneous, informal
And
chat.
authentic, which
Yeah, so we've done the podcast now for what is it? It's a year, isn't it? Is it just over a year when we
yeah,
started?
yeah,
And we've covered quite a lot of topics in there, haven't we? And we've done quite a lot of in-depth chat. So it's nice to actually be going from doing that was quite structured to something just a bit more chatty, with us basically just chatting in our studios, aren't we?
yeah. Just excuse me, this is authenticity for you. I forgot to press the record button. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so in terms of what we were doing before in our podcast, it was very structured. There was a lot of thought put into it, and we covered a lot of topics, which was fantastic, which is good in itself. And we've got those now that people can listen back to. But I
Yeah,
think to do something just a bit shorter form, a bit more informal, just us
yeah.
chatting in our studios.
And we also, I think at the beginning, there was a little bit of we did a lot of editing, but there was a lot of ums and things at the
Yeah.
beginning. So, and we had a lot of false starts and things like that. And I think we're just a lot more confident. So that's what's happened by doing, I think it's 24 that we did in
Mhm.
that first year because we did every other. So by doing every other, by turning up, by doing all of that, it's got us to this point, which is that we can talk to each other on camera without getting too, well,
Don't getting too flustered, yeah, because I remember
yeah,
the first episode, and I think we're totally different now compared to where we were. But you
yeah,
can only get there, can't you, by actually doing it? There's no other way, and just being uncomfortable for a while. And
yeah,
you get to this stage where it's just like, I've just been recorded, it's just another podcast.
yeah. So if you haven't caught us before, we are Art Alchemy, and it is authentic conversations for cultivating the creative mind. And we've never ever discussed authenticity, have we, as a subject in itself?
Yeah.
And it seems to be a bit of a buzzword at the moment, I think.
It definitely seems to be something that's on trend, isn't it? People talking about being their authentic selves and all that kind of thing.
Yes. And I was talking to I had my nails done. This is why I'm looking suit. I've been to the salon. Big shout out for Nicola's salon in so Staffordshire. But my nail lady who actually is only just finishing her training, so she's just been amazing. We were talking about this podcast, and she said it's better to be live anyway. It's better if things go wrong because it's
Yeah.
more authentic. So
Yeah.
she was in a way somebody who made me think, oh, that would be a topic, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and what would you say you'd consider as authenticity? Because I think that we constantly, um, I don't know, change ourselves to fit other people.
Yeah, we do. And I think that that's also normal and natural to be like that because that's part of our social makeup. Because if we didn't do that, we might come across as being insensitive or a
Well,
bit,
very selfish if you
or,
just,
yeah, yeah. So there's also, well, it's just a social thing as well, isn't it? It's a two-way thing with people.
yeah. The
Uh,
problem is when you change yourself so much that you're not true to yourself anymore. So you just become what other people. So there's this fine line, isn't there? You
yeah,
can't just be purely
true.
not considering what other people think.
Yeah.
So authenticity, would we say, is being, whilst considering other people, but being true to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I think women are worse at it, where they become a bit people pleasing, don't they,
Yeah,
sometimes? Would you say that?
definitely. I think women are generally socially conditioned as well from a young age to be the ones that are more of the caregivers.
Mm,
So because people naturally expect that of you, um, you're more likely to like want to please people. Because from a young age, there's nothing wrong with this, but we genetically wired as well to like please our parents, aren't we, when we're growing up, and teachers and things like that. And quite often it's put upon girls that they've got to be nice, they've got to be friendly, you've got to be sociable, be nice, smile at that strange person that you don't know, and all these sorts of things. And they do embed within you kind of your subconscious, and it's part of our social structure to be like that as well. So it's
mm,
what's expected of women.
mm,
Um, I once had a guy when I used to live in Dunfermline. I walked past him. I wasn't in a very good mood, and he said, "Put a smile on that face." And I just looked at him and I was like, "Why? You don't know what I've been through today. Why should I be smiling to make you feel better?" That to me is just like the epitome of the sorts of things that we sort of put on women, you know?
mm. Is it, well, it's interesting. And I wonder how that translates into art. So
Mm.
being authentic, I think you need to, when we started this art journey ourselves, I wanted to be, you've probably always done art, haven't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't always done art. And I sort of fell into it because I started to play and I didn't really think I was very good at it. And it was quite easy for me to just be myself.
Yeah,
Uh, but I had this problem with the music. I really wanted to be good.
yeah.
And that really wanting to be good was had
Mm.
so many blocks. Don't know whether that's an authentic thing. No, I'm not quite sure actually. I feel like I'm going off on one there. So what is authentic art?
It is
What is it?
related to it though, Debs, because it's like in order to be authentic, you also need to like learn how to fail and be willing to fail and prepared to fail,
Yeah,
to make mistakes, because that's just part of being human.
yeah.
Drop
And
that
actually, the
perfectionism.
more you fail, in fact, art is all about that. You
Yeah,
have to
you have to make
fail.
loads of mistakes to get anywhere near what you want to do and tap
Yeah,
into your authenticity as well, don't you?
yeah. And the minute that you fail and back off from it, you you don't move forward. And
Yeah.
that's what was happening with music. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So weirdly, when we started this journey, you started out, and I just thought we had to learn technique and all of
Mhm.
that. And then it sort of gets deeper, doesn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's all about who you are as a person
Yeah.
and what you like and all of those things, which is quite amazing, really. And what is amazing is it is a really, really fabulous journey in as much as it's fun to find out what you like. And it's fun once you can embrace that failure. It really is great fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that make sense? To actually, I'm thinking about what people at home listening to us think, and I'm like, if you can paint and let go of the wanting to be perfect, then really you're playing, which is fun. And then if you can reflect on that play
Mm.
and say, what is it that you like? So you do have to have like a reflective side as well.
Yeah.
And you do have to understand, you have to go through all learning about the fundamentals of it all. But once you actually do that, you can be really yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the difficulty of being authentic, and there is a difficulty, is that you really feel that you're quite open on the canvas,
Mm.
don't you?
Yeah, there is that vulnerability in it, isn't it?
Mm.
And I
Yeah, and you have to learn to be vulnerable, and then you have to learn to not be listening to other people, because at first you're vulnerable and then you get a bit hurt. You're like, because somebody said something bad.
yeah.
And then you have to go through another step in the journey, which is to go, yes, but why am I painting?
Yeah. It's hard with art, isn't it? Because you are so literally so visible to visual art. It's you on a canvas. So
Yeah.
like when you first start as well, I found it even harder because there's certain people that will come along and they'll give you opinions, and there's a lot of myths around art as well, which you spoke about before. There's all of that baggage that comes with art, isn't there? So when people give you feedback, you have to be really, really careful about what you tune into and what you don't. And it's really easy when you start to listen, when you start making art and to listen to the wrong people, because it can almost be like an easy way out not to continue. Do you have to be really brave to keep doing it, to be honest?
It sounds strange. I'm not, please don't be put off because it's amazing as well.
It is, but you do have to have courage just to keep going and have that persistence.
Because you have to embrace the failure,
You do.
definitely.
And even when you're an established artist, you still have to be pushing yourself outside your boundaries for it to have that kind of spark, you know? You can't
Mm.
keep doing the same thing over and over again because you'll just get bored. Even if you're, I think, even if you're selling loads of artwork, I think doing that to me, I wouldn't enjoy it, you know? You've got to come up with something a bit new, haven't you, that excites you as well.
Yeah, so if you get into the thing is, I think when I first started, I didn't think about any of this at all.
Yeah,
I just wanted to paint whatever was there in front of me.
yeah,
In fact, I really wanted to be able to go out and paint what was in front of me and be able to do that
yeah,
outside on a canvas. That's what I wanted to be able to do.
yeah,
And I have achieved that. And you could have just stuck there, couldn't you? You could have just like, but it's then I'm like, no, but actually, I want a little bit more than this because I want to actually capture how it feels when I'm out there.
yeah,
And it's so it's it is a journey, but you only do it in little steps, don't you? So it's not like it's not that scary. But looking back, you just think, gosh, you've come a long way, really.
yeah, massively. I know there's so much, isn't there, to kind of get your head around. But I think you do know when you're in that more authentic space because it does feel a bit more scary and vulnerable, doesn't it? But exciting at the same time. It's kind of
Yeah,
like when you get the butterflies about doing something new, isn't it? It's the
yeah,
same sort of feeling.
yeah. And I think that's what I seek out, because the reason I love doing this is because it makes me feel what I call truly alive.
Yeah,
And I think that's why it's really, really worth doing,
mm,
because it's not just about those, and you learn to cope with your vulnerabilities, but it also helps you in life as well, doesn't it? It's not just, it does knock on to other
yeah,
things.
yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. And just when you're about to do a new series and you're exploring something new, and at that point, that is just amazing, isn't it? And then all of a sudden you get this explosion of creativity, and it's just like that's what authentic art feels like. It's just like,
Yeah, it does.
yeah, and you've just got ideas and it's all coming out on lots of canvases at
Yeah,
once, and that's just fabulous.
it is. And I mean, I think we've discussed this before as well. Part of the reason why it takes so long, I think, to get to that place where you're kind of, I don't, how would I describe it? A productive artist, you know? You can get to that place. You know yourself how to get to that place. It's all about the creative process, really, isn't it? And understanding that. And
Mm.
I suppose the authenticity is the first kind of key piece that you've got to really acknowledge, haven't you? And like tap into and listen to, and it can take a while, I think, to bring that voice back if you've been ignoring it for a while, which is what happened to me. I was kind of pushing down my real aspirations about things and probably just being a bit small, not wanting to be seen, all of that kind of stuff.
When
So
did you feel like that? Was that?
um I stopped painting for a while. So before I was 30, a couple of years, 2, 3 years, stopped doing anything creative at all because I was just fed up of, I did for the people that don't know at home, I did a textile design degree. Um, and then I sort of fell into a retail job, and after that was an IT job. And it was something that I always wanted to do, and I kept trying to push, but for whatever reason, it didn't quite work out. I think that's now because I should have been doing the painting all along. But back then, I didn't know this, I had to go through all of that. And for me, it just got to a point where I was just really fed up of kind of getting rejection from whether it was jobs, opportunities, because I'd not been able to really pursue the textile design thing because you have to have the time to do it as well and to build a portfolio and all the rest of it. So anyway, long story short, um, yeah, so it took me a while to get back my proper voice and my confidence. And I also think part of that reason was I was using the wrong medium. I was trying to do design really. I was a painter deep down. So
Yeah.
started painting again when I asked myself if it didn't matter where any of this goes, what happens with it, what happens with my career, um, what happens with my life, what would I want to do just to enjoy myself? Quite often we don't ask ourselves, I wasn't asking myself the right question. I was asking myself, how do I get out of this job? Um, how can I do something creative that I can make money from? And that's where my ego kept coming in and going, well, you've done textile design, so you should really be able to get a job in this and pursue it this way. And actually, I should have been listening to my heart, which was saying, if I really enjoyed something, which was painting, and it always was back before I started my degree, then I'm just going to do that again and just see what happens and just do it for the pure fun of it. Because when I stopped doing anything creative, I became really miserable.
You said a lot there.
I know, it's
No,
really
that's
unloaded.
really good because I think that's what happens as well when you're not authentic to yourself. That's really interesting because that's the flip side, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that's what
So
it feels like.
I think some things are happening with us now on our journey where, and this, I've started meditation again. I started doing things like that. And we do journaling, don't we? We both do journey. You do morning pages every day. Um, but I think what you said there was quite interesting because what we are going through again in our learning curve, that's me and you, I think we both are, is that this is about building our audience and stuff, but
Yeah,
we were trying to push.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So we were trying to push forward. We were trying to, and we were pushing ourselves and we could feel it and it was getting quite hard work, wasn't it?
yeah,
Um, and that is your head. That's definitely your head.
yeah,
Whereas when you start doing it from your heart and you just go with what feels right and it sounds, the reason I think that sometimes that feels wrong is because that's almost too easy.
yes, definitely. Because we're sort of taught, aren't we, from school age that anything that comes too easy is cheating, basically. And
Yeah,
you need to put in the hard work to get good grades in your exams and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
when it does feel easy and things are just kind of happening, and the
yeah,
things that you didn't plan, but you find doors mysteriously just start opening, you're like, oh, what's this, don't you?
yeah, yeah. It's strange, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think sometimes if you sit with your feeling as well, then and I certainly like I've been doing this meditating. You can almost do that with painting as well. If you're actively doing those things, then you can be really enjoying life, sitting in that space,
Yeah,
and the doors do open because you're not then scared to take the steps because
yeah,
doors don't open by themselves, do they?
no,
I'm doing a little bit of being scared because I'm not approaching my local galleries that I wanted to do.
yeah, yeah.
And I do think over the next few weeks that is something that I've got to do. But I think I also knew because I'd not been very well a few weeks back, and I knew that I just wasn't in the right place for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's also okay to just leave it for a few weeks as long as you're not doing it because, yeah, just be ready and then
Yeah, of
move
course.
forward. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it's not the right time as well. And
Mm.
you think you're getting it wrong, and that's your head again.
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
So just sit with it
yeah.
and see how you feel. So I think we've covered quite. It's actually we did say we were going to do short episodes. Unless you've got something to add, I think because we've done 20 minutes.
We have, and I think we've covered a lot of ground, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah. We
good.
decided we weren't going to do quite as long ones.
Yeah, just a kind of easy short listen, aren't they, for
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
But if anybody wants to speak about anything on this channel, art related topics, any questions that you've got, please leave your comments for us and make sure you subscribe to us as well.
Yes. And Ruth and I, for anybody who doesn't know it, run an art hub community, and we've got a few things in the pipeline as far as courses and things like that go as well. So you can, if you're on our mailing list, then you'll be able to get information, but just to be aware what we do, really. That's all we're saying it for. So
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this. And I know we're meant to be keeping, this is the first time we've been live on YouTube, and we're meant to have kept an eye on whether anybody's chatted to us in the comments. And we haven't been doing that because we've just been talking, which is so we're not expecting hordes of people to know that we're going to be here at Friday at 9, but every Friday we plan to be here.
Yeah.
So if you've got questions for us, then come along, and either you can always ask us in advance, but
Mhm.
or put them in the comments.
I mean, whilst we're chatting, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
say.
we do have an Art Hub Facebook group, so you can always go in there and put questions,
Yeah,
and we'll definitely be putting the replays for this
yeah.
um in there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and they'll be on our channels. Right. So bye for now.
Bye.
Okay, and I don't know how to stop this line. Oh, hang on, I'm sure I can work it out. This is authenticity in action. Ah,
Exactly.
stop live stream. I found it. Okay.
Yay.